a story surprisingly short on detail, isn't it? Oh, there's a lot of big picture stuff. Gabriel tells Mary that who Jesus is, but really only the big picture, not really what's going to happen. The angels tell the shepherds the Messiah has been born, and they'll find him in a stable. But exactly what kind of a Messiah? Why is he in a stable? We have questions. We don't hear those questions asked, though. Even the Magi might wonder when they showed up, expecting to find a king, and that's not exactly what they were expecting, maybe. It just seems to me that there's a lot of details, a lot of questions that weren't asked. A lot of details that could be filled in. But there's one detail that appears constantly throughout the story. And not even just the story of this night, but the whole story. When the angel visits Zechariah to tell him that even in his old age, he and his wife were going to have a child, and that child was going to be John the Baptist, John the announcer, because that's really his job. He announces Jesus. The first thing the angel says is, "Don't be afraid." When the angel Gabriel visits Mary to tell her the good news, the first thing Gabriel says is, "Don't be afraid." When the angel appears to the shepherds to tell them the good news, the first thing the angel says is, "Don't be afraid." Sorry, that's wrong. "Fear not," I believe, is what the angel says. I wish I could do that with Linus's voice. Even the Magi, we don't actually really hear this necessarily, but I bet that when they had a dream that told them to go home a different route because Herod was going to come and get them, I'm pretty sure it started with, "Don't be afraid." Either angels are really scary or there's a bigger issue there. And there is. The bigger issue is that it doesn't mean don't be scared. It means whatever happens, and no, I don't need to give you all the details because you're going to live them. But in living them, you need to know God is with you. And truly, this day, Emmanuel means God with us. Whatever happens, and there is so much to be fearful of these days, whatever happens, God is with us. Throughout this whole story, the angels have to be constantly reminding people to not be afraid. And in fact, that's also the thing that Jesus says most often. It's kind of like, it's like the Word of God is somehow fearful. But it isn't. It is truly good news. And this night in particular, the good news is, don't be afraid because God is with you no matter what happens. Emmanuel is here. The light. It doesn't mean there isn't going to be darkness. It doesn't mean there aren't going to be shadows in our lives. It doesn't mean that at all. It means that wherever we go, God goes with us.